a range of viewpoints on an issue. Ethical writing is writing with a level of inclusion, respect, and the acknowledgement of variety. The importance of ethical writing then is based not only upon the avoidance of plagiarism, but also avoiding the weaknesses of bias and exclusive languages. To discuss more about ethics in academic writing, we have an eminent resource person, Dr. S.B. Gaikwad sir. Our speaker, Dr. S.B. Gaikwad sir, has great depth of experience in this field because he has 28 years of teaching and research experience. He has published more than 70 research papers in national and international journals. He is author of more than 6 books. Presently, sir is working as professor and head Department of Geography, Miraz Mahavidyalaya, Miraz, Maharashtra. Sir is working as a member and chairman on various academic and professional bodies. With this brief introduction, I request Dr. S.B. Gaikwad sir to take over this session. S.B. Gaikwad sir.
Thanks, madam. Good afternoon, all of you. There is I think last lecture is going on. We had already enjoyed so many lectures regarding so many factors regarding research methodology, but today and now the very important topic is ethics of academic writing. Academic writing is the way of our researcher, but in academic writing, your own writing, your own method, your own language is very important in that. But so many authors, there is no blame on them, but so many writers are take references from other evidence and forgottenly they have don't mention their references in their texts. And that ethics are very important in their writing. For newcomers researchers, they have take a very good precaution regarding the ethics of academic writing. The ethical writing with a level of inclusion, respect, and acknowledgement of diversity. The importance of ethical writing then is based not only upon the avoidance of plagiarism, but also avoiding the weaknesses of bias and exclusive language. Sexist means lingvadi, racist means varnadvesh, and homophobic, etc. Homophobic means समलैंगिक लोकाबद्दल पूर्वग्रह दोषितपणा. तर these concepts are very important in our ethics in academic year. Now there are 7 principles of ethics. These are mid-level of principle to cases, non-malfinance means dushtapana, then beneficence, health of your writing, then maximization, efficiency, then respect to the autonomy, justice, proportionality is presented in this lecture. Easy to use tools applying ethics to public health are presented. Now, what are the issues of academic writing regarding the ethical issues? Ethical integrity is essential to writing and publication. Importance, ethical concerns to consider while writing a manuscript includes etiquettal, then fraudulent publication, then plagiarism, duplicate, and plagiarism means plagiarism, then duplicate publication, authorship and potential for conflict of interest, These are the ethical issues in the academic writing. And ethical writing means what? Ethical writing means, practical ethical writing means that you develop and sustain trust between you and your record, the institution you write for, and other writers. It goes beyond simply not plagiarizing. It includes writing non-besides arguments based on irreadable sources and shows respect for diversity. For example, ethical writing is writing that early indicates, means via documentation, where source material has been incorporated into one's own writing. Another some examples regarding the ethics. A few of the most common personal ethics shared by many professionals, that is the honesty. Many people view honesty as an important ethic. Then loyalty. Loyalty is another common personal ethic that many professionals are share. Then integrity. Another one is respect and selflessness and responsibility. These are the some examples of ethics. Now, what is the ethics in academic resources? The research ethics involves the application of fundamental ethical principles to research activities, which includes the design and implementation of research, respect towards society, and other the use of resources and research outputs, specific misconduct, and the regulation of the research. And what are the actually ethics in research? These are the discuss intellectual property frankly. You should discuss frankly for the senior person or senior researcher regarding what is your doubts in the research. You may be asked, you may be discussed with senior person or experienced person regarding that. And second one is, I am telling to you regarding the 5 ethics researches. Be conscious of multiple roles. Then follow informed consent rules. Then respect confidentiality and privacy. Tap into ethics resources. These are the ethics in research. These are very important in academic writing. Then what are the importance ethics for the students? The ethics in education is very crucial for all the students because they help to the personality of the students. Ethics in education assist to manage the education system and make sure that these habits positively take part in human well-being. What are the educational ethics? The educational ethics are a field which considers ethics problems and dilemmas specific to the complexity and education, with a view to assisting educators, educational policymakers, and school communities to clarify these contexts, specific problem, and making ethical recommendations for their resolutions. Then ethics importance in the writing a research proposal. When you should proposal submitting to an office or to the funding agency, maybe UGC, RUSA, then our university also has funded so many monies for the short research proposals. That time, the ethics are very important. What I am saying here, research ethics are important for number of reasons. They promote the aims of research, such as expanding knowledge, the support, the values required for collaborative work, such as multiple respect and fairness. This is an essential because specific research depends on collaboration between researchers and particular group. One question is raised in my mind. Why should we maintain ethical standards in academic writing? How do you practice it? And that time, I think there are several reasons why it is important to adhere to ethical norms in research. First norm is promote the aim of research, such as knowledge, truth, and avoiding of errors. For example, prohibitions against fabricating, falsifying, or misrepresenting research data promote the truth and minimize to errors. The ethics are based on the well-funded standards of right and wrong that prescribe what human ought to do, usually in terms of rights, obligations, benefits to society, fairness, or specific virtues. Then ethics important in technical writing. The ethics are very important for the technical writing. When you should research in the systematic way, scientific research. Suppose your participation in the wing from science or technical courses. That time this point is very important. That is, ethics is one of the most important topic in technical communication. When you can communicate clearly and effectively, and when it is your task to help other to understand an object, process, or procedure, it is your responsibility to do so in an ethical fashion. Then there are some ethical sources, and these are the utilitarian approach. What is the utilitarian approach? When your research will be used for many peoples or many agencies, that time in your research, there is no plagiarism. There is totally your research is depend upon the ethical points of writing. Then the fairness or justice, the approach. Whatever you may be say, you may be right a particular object or particular factor. That approach is usually useful for the common people, and that should be good. Then the virtue approach, and then the right approach. Other philosophers and ethicists suggest that the ethical action is the one that best protect and respect the moral rights of those affected agencies. What is the ethical model? There is when your writing includes deontology, utilitarianism, rights, and virtue. That time, your writing, your research is a such type of model which will be useful for other agencies or other peoples, that is also for society. There are so many theories in ethical, that is called as ethical theories. In these theories, egoism in your writing, you don't present or don't show, don't just like is your writing is egoist. Then hedonism means vilaswad. Then naturalism, your research writing is just like a naturalism. And virtue theories. Then existentialism, that is called as in Marathi astitwad. Then Kantism, utilitarianism, contractualism, and religionism. That is the theories of ethics. Then perspectives of the ethics. There are three perspectives are ethics. One thing is virtual ethics, then consequentialist ethics, then deontological or duly based ethics. Each approach provides a different ways to understand of ethics. And ethical decision making power is very important in your writing. State the problem. In ethical writing, you maybe follow the 7 steps or 7 parameters, just like state your problem. Then check the facts. What is the facts? You check first. Then identify relevant factor, then the internal factor or external factor, and then develop a list of options. Evaluate the resolutions of the problems. Recommend and actions, and your research should be ethical leadership. These 7 parameters are very important for ethical decision making. And scholarly ethical meaning means scholarly integrity then can be defined as the total set of explicit and implicit professional standards and characteristics that describe an ethical understanding member of the scholarly community. A scholarly community based its definition on integrity on what it values. Professional practices and scholarly ethics have always been intertwined as they are said to build each other. A person with strong scholarly ethics is bound to have strong skilling that can be transferred into a high standard of professional practices. Academic integrity entails commitment to the fundamentals, values of honesty, trust, kindness, respect, responsibility, and charges and courage. Who says? Fishman says this sentence. From this value, ethical academic behavior is defined creating a community dedicates to learning and the exchange of ideas. Integrity scholarly articles say the integrity as a moral quality in this article, integrity is seen as the quality of acting and accordance or harmony with relevant moral values, norms and rules, a choice-based party on some of the arguments already put forward. When is ethics in scholar writing? In general, ethics means speaking or doing what is right, treating people fairly and not hurting anyone. Your writing is smoothly but meaningful. Your writing is not hurting anyone. In research ethics means a set of principles that embody or exemplify what is good or right or allow us to identify what is bad or what is wrong. In regard of the ethical academic writing, many peoples or many scholars have says something, says some quotations, some quotes. Albert Einstein says relativity appeals to physics, not ethics. The Nitin Namdev has stated priorities vary according to wishes. John Rawls also he has quote a society required by public sense of justice is inherently stable. Albert Manguel says if justice takes place, there may be hope even in the face of seemingly capricious divinity. Thomas Paine quoted that I believe in the equality of man, and I believe that religious duty consists in doing justice, loving mercy, and endeavoring to make our fellow creators happy. William Paine quoted in his poem, right is right, even if everyone is against it, and wrong is wrong, even if everyone is for it. This is very famous in our lecture. William Scott Downey quoted that law without justice is, listen me, law without justice is a wound without cure. Wound means zakham. Law without justice is wound without cure. Then Edwin Grant Corkin quoted that the ethics of science regards that search from truth as care of the highest duties of man. And last, Santiago Ramon Cajal says that physical pains is easily forgotten. Against, I am telling to you, physical pains is easily forgotten, but moral chagrin, moral chagrin, last identified. Physical pains is easily forgotten, but a moral chagrin, last identified. These are the some things regarding the ethics. Now, plagiarism is a part of ethics. And you know, when you submit your thesis or submit your dissertation or submit your report for the concerned agency, that means you for the concerned university or anywhere, that time you must be check your plagiarism. And that plagiarism, I think, according to UGC rules, that will be not less than 10%. But when I guide to the students, there are 13%, 15%, 20% plagiarism are observed in their writing. When I check their writing, that time so many repetitions are there. So may I request to you, may I telling to you, you avoid your repetitions and your writing should be on the way of zero plagiarism. So now we will go to details regarding the plagiarism. Plagiarism is the representation of another author's language, thoughts, ideas, or expansions as one's own original work. In educational contexts, there are differing definitions of plagiarism depending on the institution. Plagiarism is considered a violation of academic integrity and branch of journalistic ethics. It is subject to sanctions such as penalties, suspensions, exclusions from school or work, sustained fines, and even imprisonments. Generally, plagiarism is not in itself a crime, but like counterfeiting, fraud can be published, all fraud can be punished in a court for prejudices caused by copyright infringement, violation of moral rights, or torts. In academia and industry, it is a serious ethical offense. Plagiarism and copyright infringement overlap to a considerable extent, but they are not equivalent concepts. And many types of plagiarism do not constitute copyright infringement, which is defined by copyright law and may be adjudicated by court. Plagiarism might not be the sum in all countries. Some countries such as India, Poland consider plagiarism to be a crime, and there have been cases of people being imprisoned for plagiarizing. In other instances, plagiarism might be the complete opposite of academic dishonesty. In fact, in some countries, the act of plagiarism of professional work is seen as flattering. Students who move to the United States and other Western countries from countries where plagiarism is not frowned upon often find the transaction difficult. What is the seriousness of plagiarism? Within the procedure of sanctioning plagiarism, the examination board will take into account three criteria to determine the seriousness of and the penalty for plagiarism. The nature of plagiarism is very important in that case. The extent of plagiarism. Which type of plagiarism are observed in your writing? That is the very important. That is called as nature of plagiarism. Then the extent of plagiarism. How much time, how much overlap writing is seen in your writing, that is the extent of plagiarism. And your experiences in research and information skills is very important in the seriousness of plagiarism. The nature of plagiarism is correlates with the definition and different kinds of plagiarism. For instance, an incorrect way of referring to resource is less serious than using not reference at all. In extent of plagiarism, it is important to know whether you forgot to refer to your source only once or whether major part of your paper are plagiarized to determine the seriousness of plagiarism here also. Then experience in research and information skill. Your experiences depends on whether you are a first year bachelor student who just submitted a first paper, or whether you are an experienced master student, means PG students, MA, MSc, MCom, whatever may be, who already followed a seminar in writing and who has knowledge of extent referring techniques. If you did not receive a lot of training in using the correct referring techniques, your plagiarism will most likely be considered a methodological error, for which you won't receive a severe penalty. In this case, your faculty will try to focus more on prevention of plagiarism by, for instance, making you follow a self-study training. If you were properly educated in how to avoid plagiarism, it will be called a non-excusable error. Intention as a criterion. Unintentional plagiarism also makes it difficult for your teacher to evaluate your research and writing skill, which is why every form of referring identity inadequately receives the qualification plagiarism over even examination fraud. Even examination fraud also such type of plagiarism. Your intentions are not a criterion to determine the seriousness of plagiarism. However, if it is crystal clear that you plagiarized intentionally with the intention to defraud, this will add to the seriousness of your plagiarism. Examples are copying another person's work without any reference whatsoever, plagiarizing your own work, pretending that you consulted certain sources directly while you only read about them in secondary literature, etc. Now, what is the? These are the introductory information of plagiarism. What is the plagiarism? Then seriousness of plagiarism. There are so many types of plagiarism. Plagiarism comes in many forms. These generally, so many forms, so many type of plagiarisms. But frequently, frequently we observe, and that frequently plagiarisms I summarize in 7 types. 7 types plagiarism are mostly common. One thing is complete. First one, there are types of plagiarism. The common plagiarism, there are 7 types of common plagiarisms. First one is complete plagiarism. You know, complete plagiarism. That is the very serious matter. Huh? Here, complete plagiarism. This overt type of plagiarism occurs when a writer submits someone else's work in their own name. You see, very serious matter in there. This overt type of plagiarism occurs when a writer submits someone else's work in their own name, paying somebody to write a paper for you, then handing the paper in with your name on. It is an act of complete plagiarism, as is stealing or borrowing someone's work and submitting it as your own. An example of complete plagiarism is submitting a research paper for English class that your older sister wrote and submit when she took the class 5 years ago. Then our own research work, our own writing also a complete plagiarism. That is the one very important example I am telling to you. Own writing also a plagiarism. When your writing has completed in past 4 years or past 5 years, and then you should write on that specific subject, and same writing is there. That is the complete plagiarism. Means your own writing is also comes in the complete plagiarism. When you use your writing, your past writing in present purpose, and you do not refer it in that year or your name, that is also plagiarism. Then second type of plagiarism is direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is similar to complete plagiarism in that it too is the overt passing of another writer's words as your own. The difference between the two is how much of the paper is plagiarized. With complete plagiarism, it is the entire paper. With direct plagiarism, specific sections or paragraphs are included without crediting or even acknowledging the author. And it means, you know, that you can understand. An example I will give you. The direct plagiarism is dropping a line or two from your source directly into your work without quoting or citing the source. That is the direct plagiarism. Then paraphrasing plagiarism is the third common type of plagiarism. Paraphrasing plagiarism is what happens when a writer reuses another's work and changes a few words or phrases. It is a common type of plagiarism. What I can say in you can understand. When a writer reuse another's work and change a few words, but meaning is same, few words or phrases, it's a common type of plagiarism, and many students don't even realizing it's a form of plagiarism. But if you are presenting someone else's original idea in your writing without crediting them, even
Hello, sir, you are not audible. फुले सर, आवाज येतोय का सरांचा? आय एम ऑडिबल टू ऑल पार्टिसिपंट्स.
मॅडम आवाज येतोय तुमचा, पण सरांची स्क्रीन शेअर नाहीये.
ओके, पण
मॅडम सरांचा पण आवाज येत नाही मॅडम.
गायकवाड सर.
हा, ओके सर आलेले आहेत.
हा, म्यूट झालात पाहिजे. गायकवाड सर तुम्ही म्यूट आहेत.
गायकवाड सर, प्लीज अनम्यूट युअरसेल्फ.
can I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible. Please.
Now, fourth type of plagiarism is self-plagiarism. You might be surprised to find out that you can plagiarize yourself. How? After all, your original thoughts are your own to use as you please, right? Yes, but with your caveat. Let's say you wrote an essay about the pros and cons of changing your city's zoning laws 2 years ago, and now you are writing a research paper about how adopting certain zoning laws has impacted other cities in the past decade. Reusing content from your essay in your research paper would be an act of self-plagiarism. An act of self-plagiarism. You can absolutely use the same source, and if you cite them properly, you don't have to worry about being accused of the plagiarism. Self-plagiarism can be an issue if you write professionally. When you are commissioned to write for a client, the client owns that work. Reusing your own work or subsequent client is plagiarizing your own work and can damage your professional reputation as well as make your client look bad. Then another type is Patchwork plagiarism. What is the patchwork plagiarism? In your writing, when you write a research paper or a project work or any work orienting on your research, that time, so many times I referred, I checked the various reports. That time I have seen the patchwork of another person, because style of writing, when you read the particular person's writing, you know 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 15 pages. You can understand their style of writing. In between, after 3-4 pages or after some pages, after his writing, a patchwork is there, because the patchwork style of writing is deeper than the original writing. Patchwork writing, style of patchwork writing is very deeper than the original writing. Also, patchwork plagiarism, known as mosaic plagiarism. Patchwork plagiarism refers to instance where plagiarized work in interone with the writer's original work. This kind of plagiarism can be suitable and easy to miss, and it may happen in conjunction with direct plagiarism. An example of patchwork plagiarism is taking a clause from a source and embedding it in a sentence of your own. So what I has already told, the style of writing in between the continuous writing, if the new style of writing comes in that writing, there is the patchwork plagiarism, and that will be identified in the plagiarism machine, plagiarism software. Then sometimes the original researcher has worked their own style, their own writing, but accidentally, some quotations he has write, and that quotations he has listened in a particular lecture or news or whatever, and that he remember when he write their research work, and that time accidentally that quotation is used in their research paper or research writing. That is called as, that time we say, so what type of plagiarism in that? That is called as accidental plagiarism. The accidental plagiarism is perhaps the most common type of plagiarism, because it happens when the writer doesn't realize that they are plagiarizing another's work. Accidental plagiarism includes the forgetting to cite your source in your work. Then not citing your source correctly. Then failing to put quotes around cited material. Even accidental plagiarism is subject to consequences such as failing your assignment. So before I am going to how prevent plagiarism, I want to say some details, tips or details, clips, details, types of plagiarism. Another types of plagiarism is observed in the writing of research. Every academic writer should know plagiarism is the most common issue that every academic writer face while writing their research paper or dissertation or thesis writing. The famous plagiarism checking tools such as duplicator, and Turnitin are classified the plagiarism into 10 common types. Already we have seen 7 common types of plagiarism. But here, another 10 types of plagiarism is usually every academic writing should know to avoid it. It is the very important words. It is the very important points when we should write our research article or research writing. That time, every academic writer should know to avoid it. Clone. First one is clone. Plagiarism, cloning plagiarism is also called identical copying. In cloning, one person copies another work, word for word, without any change and claim as his own work. Then that is the clone, C-L-O-N-E, clone. Then remix. Plagiarism in the remix type of plagiarism, one person collects information from various sources and mix all together as a single document, then claim the work as their own work. That is called as remix. Then control plus C. What is the control plus C? Plagiarism in the writing documents. A significant proportion of text copied from any single source without any alteration. Then it is called as control plus C kind of plagiarism. Then another type is hybrid plagiarism. What is the hybrid plagiarism? Sorry. Plagiarism in the hybrid type of plagiarism, perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as a new documents without citation. What I can say, understand? Perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as a new documents without citation. That is called as hybrid plagiarism. Then find replace plagiarism. Plagiarism changing the most common keywords and phrases in the copied contents and not making any change in the essential document is called find and replace kind of plagiarism. Then recycle. Another one type of plagiarism is recycle plagiarism. Plagiarism recycle is called as self-plagiarism. It refers to the act of borrowing from one's own previous document without a proper citation. In ethical writing, my friends, citation is very important. But when we look in various journals, in various reports, in various proceedings, these are the very important scientific material of the research. That time you should avoid That is the apart from this way, I can tell you, you avoid words if, about, then flexible words you avoid in your writing. Repetition of sentence, minimum repetition of the words. Verb is allowed in repetition and repetition, but some words are you use repeatedly in your research work. That should be you avoiding. Then another type of plagiarism is mashup plagiarism. Plagiarism when the written document is copied from more than one source and all are mixed together without any proper citation. Mashup plagiarism. Plagiarism when the written document is copied from more than one source and all are mixed together without any proper citation, then it is called as mashup kind of plagiarism. Then for not for error plagiarism. What is the for not for? Plagiarism for not for plagiarism is the most important type of plagiarism. In this, a person creates a document by copying from various sources. A person creates the document by copying from various sources and prepare as a single document with the citation. But if the citation is inaccurate or it will lead to non-existing resources, then it will be called 404 types of plagiarism. Aggregator plagiarism is one type of plagiarism. Plagiarism in this aggregator plagiarism, the written document includes all the proper citation. What I say you, the written document includes all the proper citation, but it does not contain original work. That is not original work. It does not contain original work. Then it is called as aggregator plagiarism. Then one another type of plagiarism is retweet plagiarism. TWET, retweet plagiarism. This plagiarism, if all the written document seems perfect with properly cited mark, but still the documents resembles somewhere the original text structure or wording, then it is a retweet plagiarism. These are the 7 plus 10 types of common plagiarism. So how avoid the plagiarism? How you should avoid? Which steps for the avoid of plagiarism? Suppose in your writing, minimum, very minimum or zero plagiarism is observed, is seen. That time, that work is your own work. That work is useful for the society. That work is creditable to take a patent also. So, may I request you, whatever you may be collect the data regarding your research, that time you should interpret that data in your own language, own English language or own concerned language, but you don't copy it to another person's, another experts directly in your research material or your research work. If you want to take there some quotations or there some paragraphs in your research, you should take in review of literature also. You should give their reference also. You should cite to him, citation. You should cite to him in your paper or in your writing. That is your honesty. But other writing is in your own words, in your own thinking. That time your research is understanding to the society or to the frontage peoples. So I will give you tips to avoid plagiarism. Read and understanding the original document several times before start explaining about it. Do not copy any word or sentence from the original document. If you want to need some parts you want to mention in your paper, in your writing, you should quote him. Do not copy any word, sentence from the original document. Give the proper citation to all the sources. That which type of sources you have cite. Books are there, journals are there. Now the time comes, the various new researchers or new youngers are used their mobiles, their handsets, and they have download the information regarding your work, and that downloaded material directly, without processing, without referencing, they put in their writing. That is the plagiarism. So my humble request to you, avoid that process. So one another source is website. Just I have telling regarding the website, videos, and so on. So many sources are there which you have refer. And suppose you want to refer someone, you should read, you should understand, and what he say, you should tell in your writing, in your own language, in your own meaning. That is the permitted. In case of citing online source, include the accessed date and appropriate URL in the reference. Common phrases and definitions need to be quoted and cited without any modification. There is no problem. In geography, you want to take some definitions. Suppose the definition of human geography. Miss Ellen Semple has defined human geography. You should quote their definition. You should put their definition and says that definition has defined by Ellen Semple. If you want to develop your definition regarding that, you should also develop your definition, and you say in your writing, according to my view, there is so called as so. That is your own definition. Okay. Then common phrases, I say, already I have said, common phrases and definitions need to be quoted and cited without any modification. Make a practice to include the references section whenever write an academic document. Cross-verify all your citations before submitting your document. It should be clearly compulsory your documents should cross-verify. The system of cross-verified, you know, when you should go to the university and submit your thesis or dissertation, MPhil dissertation, or various reports, that time university authority asks, did you complete your work plagiarized? Your plagiarism has completed. So give me your certificate. So that time your cross verification is there. Your documents means your writing. Finally, take a plagiarism report from anyone. Anyone means any authorized body. Now, university has given this plagiarism checking permission to the various departments. In our university, first, your report or your material thesis, your rough thesis, your spiral bounded thesis has checked in the sense of plagiarism in the department also. Then take the letter regarding that, and you should go to the university authority and submit their letter. There is -% of my plagiarism. It will become below 10% nowadays. Plagiarism report from anyone, anybody, if the famous plagiarism software to ensure the originality of the written documents. My friends, your work will be very, very, very limited, very, very minimize plagiarizing. Your work should original work. Your work is totally depend upon the fundamental data or fundamental work, basic work, which will be used to the society to solve the problems of the society, useful for the human being. Now, how to prevent the plagiarism? There are several tips for avoiding plagiarism. There are so many ways to avoiding the plagiarism. So one tip is, don't just copy. Don't just copy. In your writing, describe other people's ideas or results using references and their importance to your argument, rather than simply copying with you have read. Avoiding using cut and paste option in electronic material, as this encourages you to simply copy what you have read word for word. That is the, you don't just copy. Another tip is, use the range of source. Don't just limit yourself to using one source when writing your assignments. Discussing ideas from a range of sources shows that you have read widely and that you are able to formulate your own views based on your own reading. Remember, important source can be available in print and electronic format. So therefore, may I telling to you, may I guide to you, you just read the relevant references before the writing. After choosing your subject or after choosing your research topic, the related work you must be read. And when you read the concerned material, that time you put their references in your notebook. In my view, I can give the reference pad to my students. I give the reference pad to my students for referencing, for relevant material reading or referencing. In that reference pad, what he has read, the name of book, name of journal, or the name of any source, he should put the front side of that reference pad page. Then writer name, then publisher, and then year of publication, number of pages in that source, means books you have, journal or reports or published material, unpublished material, whatever it may be. You put the number of pages, and in this book or in this project or journal, your relevant material is there. You put the page numbers of your relevant material, what he can says in his writing, his work in the concerned journal or book. You write 4-5 lines or one paragraph, what he says in their language, in his language, you should directly write in that page. Afterwards, what you think, what is your opinion regarding your research, after the reading of that reference, you should write there in downside of that previous author, your expert's author. You should write your own opinion, but relevant to your research. That is your original work. And that time you should quote this upper paragraph or upper opinion of concerned person. That is the reference pad. So you should follow, you prepare your reference pad such type of that. Then another tip is keep good quality note. Already I have told you, keep good quality note. If you are making note from your sources, remember to put direct quotation in quotation mark, and always keep a note of your source. This will be help to ensure that you do not accidentally plagiarize. It also makes collecting your references much easier when writing your assignments. You can keep track of your references using a tool such as EndNote Web. EndNote Web. That is the reference pad. Then another tip is use of quotation mark. Already I have told in reference pad that developed by me. Also I have referred another expert, but I prepare just a modified reference pad in their 200-page notebook. And when you refer the book or journal or any reference material or any source, you should mention the reference date, which date you have referred of that source. You should mention the date also there. That material is very useful in your future. Suppose someone will be appeal on your work in a court. Someone will appeal in court on your work. That time the reference pad and their dates are proof of your original work. That is the proof for your original work. So another tip is use quotation mark. What I say already, quotation mark you must be used. If you do want to quote a short extract from another author's word exactly, make sure you enclose their word in quotation mark to indicate that it is a direct quote. What I can say, you can understand. If you do want to quote a short extract from another author's word exactly, make sure you enclose these words in quotation mark to indicate that it is a direct quote. Direct quotes should be used sparingly and shouldn't include large amount of text. They should be used where you are identifying an key idea or highlighting the place where you found the particular idea you are using. Don't forget, if you are using someone else's ideas in your work, you need to show this by referencing it. These are some tips to avoid the plagiarism. Then the importance of adhering to rules or referencing means citation. Importance to adhering to rules or referencing or citation. That is the meaning of reference is very important in the citation. Types of reference. Types of reference means what? Which types of reference? Means table, figure. For our side, our subject, map. If you write the textbook on geography of India or geography of Africa, geography of Maharashtra, geography of Latur, whatever may be, in regional, in the way of regional geography. That's time you want the map of particular region. And who is the authorized agency to publish that map? We are not that authorized person. We researchers are not authorized person. But we want to help the map from atlas, topo sheet, and such type of ways which have been published by Survey of India. But can I read the reference books or textbook regarding the regional geography? That time they use the outline or the maps or the distribution pattern for any purpose. That map has not referred, has not quoted. That is the plagiarism. That is the plagiarism. Even though Maharashtra State Education Board also refer when they write a geography books or 11 and 12 students or for any students to the high school or the high school or junior colleges. That time they also refer these maps, map of world, map of India, map of Maharashtra. The Maharashtra Education Board has also used, also quote the reference of Survey of India. They had given permission from Survey of India and they give reference of that permission letter in their book, and afterwards they have give to permission to the writers for writing of that book or refer of that maps. Listen me. The Maharashtra Education Board is running under the government of Maharashtra, and government has used the quotation, the references of concerned agency, concerned reputed agency. So who are we? We are also quote the references, quote of references. Meaning of citation is clearly meaning of citations in write in your report. And which type of citation? So many types of citations. Then now I want to go the referencing. Just I think you can understand the plagiarism, how to avoid the meaning of plagiarism, type of plagiarism, how avoid the plagiarism, which tips for avoiding the plagiarism, then importance adhering to rules of referencing citation. Now I want to tell you regarding referencing. What is the referencing? What is the importance of referencing? It is imperative that authors of medical papers give fitting credit to the source that they quote in their manuscripts. Frequently, this is not a case, and a wrong, inappropriate, or unsuitable citation often belies the quality of a paper. Many concerns can proceed from quotations relating to improper citations. These matters may be directly at a personal level or may have a bearing on the general research community. They can range from doubt being divided at the individual's academic ability to his or her academic honesty, or even the suggestions of potential plagiarism. Meticulous referencing of resources will eliminate all of these concerns. The stamp of good research worker is attention to detail at all levels of his or her research. Attention to detail cultivates good habits, and the detail required in referencing and preparing a bibliography focuses attention on the whole research procedure. Here I had used word bibliography. Many times we use, many experts are used also. The references and bibliography are same. That is the wrong. That is the wrong. References are deeper than the bibliography. Already, which you have referred the source and you have quote in your research, and you give references in the foot side of the page or back side of the thesis or back side of the particular topic, that is the references. What is the bibliography? In the when you read relevant documents and you didn't quote in your research, but you have read that source, and the material of that source is remain in your mind, and if you should sit for the writing, that remember you have also remain, develop your writing. That is a bibliography. References are a part of bibliography. So I will tell you the details of bibliography afterwards. Bibliography focuses attention on the whole research procedure. It adds scientific thought and analysis and makes for better research reporting. Good referencing includes attention to detail such as correct page numbering, the spelling of authors, name, and the accuracy of the relevant facts that will be stated in your paper, in your report, in your thesis, in your dissertation. Attention referencing not only makes you a better researcher, but enhance your reputation amongst editors, reviewers, and readers. An editor or reader may interpret poor referencing as a sign of intellectual laziness, unclear thinking, and inaccurate writing. When you cite source correctly, you leave no question in your reader's mind regarding your point. By citing precisely and accurately, the phrase "it is said" need ever be used in your academic manuscript. An excellent bibliography shows of your scientific knowledge and extent. Bibliography is the whole hallmark of the widely read and well-informed clinician or scientist. Errors of omission frequently are the cause of a reviewer's not accepting a manuscript for publication. By not citing a critical or well-known paper extent in the scientific literature, authors can be assured of not having undertaken an extensive literature review or having inadequate knowledge of their subject. It may even lead a reviewer to consider that the work is in part of plagiarized. Reviewers look at the bibliography for several reasons. Attention to detail with regard to spelling and punctuations, as stated above, as a primary concern. Moreover, the citation method, be it Harvard or Vancouver or other, must strictly follow the instructions to authors as prescribed by the journal in questions. If the most recent reference is more than 5 years, or so, this may indicate a full up-to-date review of the literature has not been undertaken. A preponderance of references by one author may suggest self-promotion, self-plagiarism, or the selective citation of papers whose conclusions are in accord with those of the number. What I am saying to you, the selective citation or papers whose conclusions are in accordance with those or the author. Plagiarism is a prominent problem incurred. Plagiarism is the prominent problem incurred in the academic process. I will take 2 minutes more, sir, and I will complete within 2 minutes. Please.
Okay.
Plagiarism is a prominent problem incurred in the academic process and is one of the most common causes of compromising the academic integrity of the author. Sources must be cited in an appropriate form. Copying, using, or the misuse of other people's ideas, words, or concepts without proper referencing is prohibited. It is not enough to change a few words in a phrase or the source material into own word. Changing the word order of the scientist, changing the word order of a sentence is acceptable, as is the use of synonymous. Referencing or references signify the quality of the work, detailed the primary sources, and are inadequate indicative of the extent of information on the subject. Proper referencing remove any questions of plagiarism. Every submitted academic manuscript is scrutinized several times before it is accepted for the publication. The process starts with editor process via reviewers and continues even after acceptance, when editorial assessments will locate source in the bibliography and ensure that the citations are accurate. Your manuscript is much more likely to survive the rigorous of the review process with minimal criticism, and positive feedback of all references are contemporaneous, refer to a primary source, and have been accurately and correctly cited. That is the plagiarism ethics of the academic writing, then the how to prevent the plagiarism, how to referencing in your references. I have told you as my best level, and with these words I conclude my speech, and I thanks to the organizers, especially to the Professor Dr. Suresh Pule sir and their team, Principal Dr. Mahadev Gawane sir, to give an opportunity to me for sharing my views regarding research methodology, because research methodology is my liking subject. So I thanks again to them, and I stop my speech. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. On behalf of Rajeshri Shahu Mahavidyalaya Latur and RAC committee, I am very much thankful to Dr. S.B. Gaikwad sir for finding the time in your busy schedule to be guest speaker at our 10 days national program on research methodology. Sir, your presence and guidance will be helpful to the participants to achieve the writing of plagiarism-free articles. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Dear participants, following this session, we are starting our last part of this 10 days national program on research methodology, that is the valedictory function. Would I start?
Can I attend this valedictory function, madam?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
Sure, sir. Welcome, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Sir, principal sir, झालेत का join?
सर आले होते.
पुढे सर
आहे सर, ओके आले.
आहे
मॅडम सर आहेत.
Welcome, sir.
सुरू करा मॅडम.
सुरू करा.
Thank you, sir.
गायकवाड सर थँक्यू. गायकवाड सर गेले का?
आहे sir. Thank you very much, sir.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
I am here, sir, for listening you.
ओके थँक्यू.
Okay, thanks a lot.
मॅडम कंटिन्यू करा आता.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, one and all.
Good afternoon.
Respected dignitaries, online present for the valedictory function of 10 days national program on research methodology. Chief guest Principal Aniruddha Jadhav sir, Secretary Shiv Chhatrapati Shikshan Sanstha Latur. Chairperson of today's program, Dr. Mahadev Gawane sir, Principal Rajeshri Shahu Mahavidyalaya Latur. Vice Principal Professor Eshan Sinde sir, IQSC Coordinator Dr. A. Yadav sir, Course Coordinator and Director of Research and Advisory Committee, Dr. Phule sir, all respected RAC members, invitees, resource persons and participants. I welcome you all in valedictory function of this 10 days national program on research methodology organized by Research and Advisory Committee under aegis of Shiv Chhatrapati Shikshan Sanstha's Rajeshri Shahu Mahavidyalaya Autonomous Latur, with the support of Western Regional Center, Mumbai, Indian Council of Social Science and Research. It is said that no research without action, no action without research. This program on research methodology is an action for the research, and we are sure our participants will carry their research with the methods acquired in this 10 days program. I invite Dr. Kundan Taide sir to share his remarks to participants on this 10 days programs. Mr. Kundan Taide sir, over to you.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'm not going to share the remarks. Actually, the brief summary of the program will be presented by Dr. H.J. Phule sir, I'm here to give some instructions only. That the certificates will be issued to you will be e-certificates. You will get that e-certificates on your email. You have to wait for the 5 working days. Within 5 working days, we will send it. And according to the attendance of your 10 days program, we will give you the certificate of participation or completion. Okay. Thank you very much. Over to Phule sir. Now may I request Dr. Suresh Phule sir to present a brief summary regarding this 10 days program, which is sponsored by Western Region Center, ICSSR, Mumbai, and organized by Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya, Latur, Research Advisory Committee of Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya, Latur. Yes, sir. Phule sir,
Yes.
please proceed.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
you can continue.
Okay. At the outset, I welcome all the dignitaries and participants in this validity function. Good afternoon to one and all. I am here to give a brief overview about our 10 days research methodology program sanctioned by Western Region Center ICSSR, Mumbai, and organized by Research Advisory Committee, Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya. In this program, 65 participants have registered from MPhil, PhD, and postdoctoral and etc. Out of 65 participants, 46.2% are female and 53.8% are male. For this research methodology summit, 6 resource persons were from out of the state, namely Kaveri Dabadkar ma'am from Chhattisgarh, Arvind Molimani sir from Karnataka state, Saurabh Chandra from Assam state, Pooja Mehta from Punjab, Sri Ganesh from Telangana, Dr. S.D.N. Sansanwal sir from Madhya Pradesh. Other learned resource persons were from Maharashtra. So total 18 resource persons given their valuable guidance to the delegates and delighted us under the guidance of our Honorable Principal Dr. Mahadevji Gavhani sir, Chief Organizer of this educational summit. We have successfully conducted this program without any obstacle for this program. All the members of Research Advisory Committee and our faculty, Department of IT, Professor Panchal sir, Biraza sir, Praveen Suryanshi sir, have taken sound efforts. I am obliged because of their kindly cooperation. With this word, I conclude my brief overview. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. The success of every workshop or program is proportional to the satisfactory feedback of the participants. May I call Mr. Sagar Kulkarni, participant of the program, to share his experience about this program.
नमस्कार, मी डॉक्टर सागर कुलकर्णी, आपल्या राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालयाचा नुकताच PhD प्राप्त असलेला विद्यार्थी आहे. सर्वप्रथम आपल्या सर्वांना नमस्कार. राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय लातूर ICSSR दिल्ली आयोजित या 10 दिवसीय संशोधन पद्धती रिसर्च मेथडॉलॉजी प्रोग्रामच्या समारोप प्रसंगी उपस्थित असलेले प्राचार्य प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अनिरुद्ध जाधव सर, प्राचार्य डॉक्टर गव्हाणे सर, डॉक्टर अभिजित यादव सर, डॉक्टर सुरेश फुले सर, डॉक्टर तायडे सर आणि माझ्या गाईड असलेल्या डॉक्टर त्रिमुखे मॅडम, मी आपल्या सगळ्यांना या ठिकाणी वंदन करतो. या 10 दिवसामध्ये आम्हाला जवळपास 20 संशोधन पद्धतीवरच्या तज्ञ व्यक्तींची मार्गदर्शन, लेक्चर्स, अभ्यासपूर्ण व्याख्यानं आम्हाला या ठिकाणी ऐकायला मिळाली. जवळपास कर्नाटक, दिल्ली, उस्मानिया, गुवाहाटी, इंदोर, मुंबई, पंजाब, मिरज, पुणे, नांदेड, जळगाव, औरंगाबाद अशा वेगवेगळ्या 20 ठिकाणावरून या सर्व तज्ञांनी आम्हाला उत्तम पद्धतीनं मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे. त्यांचं सादरीकरण आम्हाला पाहायला आणि ऐकायला मिळालेलं आहे. खरं तर संशोधन म्हणजे काय असतं आणि संशोधन कसं असायला हवं हे आम्हाला या 10 दिवसांच्या वर्कशॉप मधून शिकायला मिळालं. मी विशेष आभार आणि खरं तर ऋण व्यक्त करतो प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर सुरेश फुले सर, प्रोफेसर तायडे सर आणि आमच्या गाईड असलेल्या त्रिमुखे मॅडम यांच्यामुळे मी याच्यामध्ये सहभागी होऊ शकलो. आणि माझ्या पुढच्या पोस्ट डॉक्टरल फेलोशिपसाठी मला हे अत्यंत उपयुक्त असं असलेलं हे वर्कशॉप या ठिकाणी आज पूर्ण होतंय, याचा मला खूप आनंद वाटतोय. कसं असतं मित्रांनो, की संशोधन हे समाजाभिमुख असायला हवं, असं आम्हाला कोर्सवर्क मध्ये फुले सरांनी जो कोर्सवर्क आयोजित केला होता, त्या कोर्सवर्क मध्ये एका सरांनी आम्हाला हे सांगितलं होतं, की तुमचं संशोधन हे समाजाभिमुख असायला हवं. आणि याचा आग्रह सातत्याने राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय धरताना आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतो. आणि याचा ध्यास असलेले इथं अनेक असे मार्गदर्शक आहेत, की जे प्रामाणिकपणे मुळापासून संशोधनाची वृत्ती डेव्हलप करण्यासाठी आणि प्रत्येक संशोधकामध्ये हीच वृत्ती विकसित होण्यासाठी सातत्याने प्रयत्न करतात. आपल्या संशोधनातून दैनंदिन जे आपलं माणसाचं जगणं आहे, ते जगणं कसं सोपं होईल याचा शोध आपण नक्कीच घेतला पाहिजे, असंही आम्हाला असंख्य वेळेस इथं असलेले फुले सर असतील, यादव सर असतील, तायडे सर असतील, हे आम्हाला सातत्याने सांगितलेलं आहे. संशोधनाला आपल्याला एक दृष्टी लागते आणि तीच दृष्टी देण्याचं काम या रिसर्च मेथडॉलॉजी प्रोग्रामनी केलंय असं मला इथं वाटतं आणि हे यशस्वीपणे केलंय असंही मला वाटतं. अनेक संशोधकांना ठळकपणे संशोधनाच्या म्हणजे काय वाटा असतात, कशा पद्धतीनं संशोधन करायचं असतं, हे या ठिकाणी आम्हाला शिकायला मिळालं. आणि अनेक असे प्रश्न असतात, नवसंशोधकांचे प्रश्न असतात, काही समस्या असतात. प्रत्येकाच्या समस्या, प्रत्येकाचे छोटे छोटे डाऊट्स या वर्कशॉपमध्ये क्लिअर करण्यात आले. अतिशय तज्ञ व्यक्ती, आणि हे ऑनलाईन होतं म्हणून हे सगळं साध्य झालं. कारण माझ्यासारख्या तालुक्याच्या ठिकाणी राहणाऱ्या संशोधकाला ही इतकी मोठी संधी या ठिकाणी शाहू कॉलेजनं उपलब्ध करून दिली, त्याबद्दल त्यांचे ऋण कोणत्या शब्दात व्यक्त करावेत हे मला कळत नाहीये. आणि म्हणूनच प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्यामध्ये नुसता आशावाद निर्माण केलाच नाही, तर तो कृतीत सुद्धा कसा आणायचा याचं इथं पुरेपूर मार्गदर्शन आणि प्रशिक्षण आम्हाला दिलेलं आहे. आपल्या संशोधनासाठी मला वाटतं की वाचनाची, विचारांची, तंत्रस्नेही असण्याची आणि चिंतनशीलतेची जोड असणं खूप आवश्यक असतं. आणि त्याचबरोबरीनं आपला जो दृष्टिकोन आहे, जो अप्रोच आहे आपल्या संशोधनाकडे बघण्याचा, या दृष्टिकोनाला कशा पद्धतीनं उदार करण्यात येईल, कसं ब्रॉड आपलं अप्रोच असेल, याकडं फार शिस्त या ठिकाणी आम्हाला लावण्यात आलेली आहे. आणि खरंच हे पोस्ट डॉक्टरल फेलोशिप असेल, एमफिल असेल, पीएचडी असेल, छोटा असलेला संशोधन निबंधाचा रिसर्च पेपर असेल, या प्रत्येक गोष्टीमध्ये आपलं कसं विचाराचं मांडणी त्या ठिकाणी असायला पाहिजे, हे परिपूर्णरित्या विकसित करण्याचं काम या प्रोग्रामने केलंय असं मला वाटतं. मी अतिशय कमी वेळेमध्ये आपलं मत व्यक्त करतो इथं. अतिशय कठीण विषय सोपेपणाने, सोप्या पद्धतीनं इथं आम्हाला सांगितल्या गेले. एखादा देश मोठा का होतो, विकसित का होतो? कारण तिथं दर्जेदार संशोधन केलं जातं आणि म्हणून संशोधकांची या देशाला खूप गरज असते. संशोधकांनी देशाला मोठं केलेलं असतं आणि याच ज्ञानाच्या जोरावर इथला प्रत्येक संशोधक, या प्रोग्राम मध्ये पार्टिसिपेंट असणारा प्रत्येक संशोधक भविष्यामध्ये समर्थपणे आपलं संशोधन करेल असा मला आत्मविश्वास वाटतो. आणि असा आमच्यामध्ये नक्कीच सामर्थ्य आणि ही अशी शक्ती निर्माण करणारे इथली सगळीच टीम, यांचे मी मनोमन ऋण व्यक्त करतो, कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करतो. आणि मी या ठिकाणी थांबतो. मला बोलण्याची संयोजकांनी संधी दिली त्याबद्दल मनपूर्वक आभार आणि बाकीच्या संशोधकांना मनपूर्वक शुभेच्छा देऊन मी थांबतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Dr. Sagar. Thank you. Now I call Mr. Sachin Shinde to share his experience. Sachin Shinde, over to you.
Madam Sachin ki Nursing Shinde?
Nursing Shinde ma'am.
Nursing Shinde, over to you.
आवाज येतो मॅडम?
Yes sir, yes sir. शिंदे सर येतो आवाज.
राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय आयोजित या 10 दिवसीय ऑनलाईन कार्यशाळेमध्ये, प्रोग्राम मध्ये आम्हाला अतिशय सविस्तर पद्धतीनं वेगवेगळ्या तज्ञांची, रिसोर्स पर्सनची मतं ऐकायला मिळाली आणि आमची जी दृष्टी आहे संशोधनाबाबतीत, तर ती अतिशय सुदृढ झालेली आहे. निश्चितपणे या वर्कशॉपचा आमच्या संशोधन कार्यामध्ये आम्हाला फायदा होणार आहे, अशा एक आत्मविश्वास आमच्यामध्ये निर्माण करणारा हा प्रोग्राम होता, ही कार्यशाळा होती. याच्यामध्ये आम्हाला टेक्निकल बाबी, क्वालिटेटिव्ह क्वांटिटेटिव्ह रिसर्च, स्टुडंटसाठी कोणकोणत्या फेलोशिप असतात, त्याचबरोबर सर्वे आणि सर्वे टीमचं कशा पद्धतीनं आयोजन करावं, सर्वे वर्क करत असताना किंवा सर्वे करत असताना फील्ड टीम कशा पद्धतीनं सिलेक्ट कराव्या, त्याचबरोबर इथिकल बाबी किंवा टेक्निकल बाबी याविषयी सुद्धा आम्हाला अतिशय छान पद्धतीनं माहिती मिळालेली आहे. या व्यतिरिक्त प्लॅगिअरिझम आणि बिब्लिओग्राफी संबंधी सुद्धा अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीचं दर्जेदार असं मार्गदर्शन या ठिकाणी आम्हाला झालेलं आहे. आमच्या पुढील वाटचालीसाठी निश्चितपणे या कार्यशाळेचा, या वर्कशॉपचा आम्हाला फायदा होईल अशी आमच्या मनामध्ये शाश्वती आहे. आणि हा प्रोग्राम आयोजित केला त्याबद्दल राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय तसेच महाविद्यालयाचे आदरणीय प्राचार्य, जे की विद्यार्थी हा विकासाचा केंद्रबिंदू म्हणून कार्य करतात, तर त्यांनी या कार्यशाळेचं आयोजन केलं, त्याबद्दल मी त्यांचे आभार व्यक्त करतो. त्याचबरोबर रिसर्च कमिटी टीम, त्यामध्ये प्रमुख आदरणीय फुले सर, तायडे सर, यादव सर, टेक्निकल बाबी ज्या वेळेला आम्हाला अडचणी येत होत्या तर त्यावेळेला आमची टेक्निकल बाजू समजून घेऊन आम्हाला ताबडतोब सहकार्य करणारे पांचाळ सर आणि त्यांची टीम, तर या सर्वांचे मनपूर्वक आभार. आणि अशाच पद्धतीची कार्यशाळा भावी आयुष्यामध्ये सुद्धा होईल आणि त्या कार्यशाळेसाठी आम्ही अशाच पद्धतीने उत्साहाने उपस्थित राहू. आयोजकांनी बोलण्याची संधी दिली त्याबद्दल मनपूर्वक आभार. धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, Shinde sir. Now I humbly invite the respected principal, Dr. Mahadev Bhavane sir, to address us on this occasion. Dr. Bhavane sir, I request.
Okay, thank you. माझा व्हिडिओ ठीक आहे. ओके, थँक्यू. राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय स्वायत्त लातूर रिसर्च कमिटीनं आयोजित 10 दिवसाचा 20 एप्रिल ते 30 एप्रिल हा 10 डेज रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी प्रोग्राम या कार्यक्रमाचा समारोप प्रसंग, या समारोप प्रसंगाला उपस्थित ज्यांनी आता सविस्तर असं आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे, एथिक्स इन अकॅडमिक रायटिंग, हे सन्माननीय गायकवाड सर, या कार्यक्रमाचे डायरेक्टर आणि रिसर्च कमिटीचे मेंबर सेक्रेटरी आदरणीय डॉक्टर फुले सर, महाविद्यालयाचे उपप्राचार्य आदरणीय शिंदे सर, IQSC कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर अभिजित यादव सर, आमच्या प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट करणाऱ्या आताच्या आमच्या रेणुका लोंढे मॅडम, कुंदन तायडे सर, परीक्षा नियंत्रक डॉक्टर शाहपूरकर सर, या रिसर्च कमिटीचे सर्व सन्माननीय सदस्य डॉक्टर अनुजा जाधव मॅडम, डॉक्टर पुष्पलता त्रिमुखे मॅडम, राऊत सर, कोयकर मॅडम, दळवी सर, या कार्यक्रमाला वेगवेगळ्या राज्याच्या आणि राज्याच्या बाहेरील उपस्थित सर्व विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, मी पहिल्यांदा आपल्या सगळ्यांचंच मनापासून खूप खूप अभिनंदन करतो की आपण अगदी अल्प काळामध्ये हा ICSSR स्पॉन्सर्ड 10 डेज रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी प्रोग्राम आपण अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं हा राबवलेला आहे, तो यशस्वी केलेला आहे. म्हणून मी पहिल्यांदा आमचे डॉक्टर सुरेश फुले सर, त्यांची सगळी टीम, त्या सगळ्यांचं मी मनापासून अभिनंदन करतो. आपण जेव्हा आपल्याला ICSSR कडून पत्र आलं आणि अगदी अल्प काळामध्ये आपण हे सगळं नियोजन केलं आणि 10 दिवसामध्ये दररोज 3 वेगवेगळ्या रिसोर्स पर्सनची व्याख्यानं विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी आपण अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीने आयोजित केला. आणि खरं तर जे रिसोर्स पर्सन बोलवले होते, मग ते काही आंध्रामधून होते, तेलंगणामधून होते, कर्नाटकमधून होते, अशा वेगवेगळ्या, छत्तीसगड मधून काही रिसोर्स पर्सन होते, महाराष्ट्रामधून, महाराष्ट्राच्या बाहेरून, असे वेगवेगळ्या रिसोर्स पर्सननी आपल्याला जवळपास 30 रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजीशी संबंधित 30 वेगवेगळ्या विषयावर आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे. आणि मला 100% विश्वास आहे की आता इथं उपस्थित असणारे आमचे जे काही विद्यार्थी आहेत, ज्यांनी आता त्यांची मनोगत व्यक्त केलेली आहेत, सागरनं मनोगत व्यक्त केलेलं आहे, शिंदे सरांनी मनोगत व्यक्त केलेलं आहे आणि त्यांनी या रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी मध्ये जे 10 दिवस जे शिकले त्याचा निश्चितच एक ते जे पुढे रिसर्च करणार आहेत त्यासाठी त्यांना फार मोठा फायदा हा त्यांना होणार आणि म्हणून रिसर्च कसं करावं कसं केलं पाहिजे मी सगळ्या म्हणजे 10 दिवस दररोज 3 व्याख्यानं जी काही इथं आयोजित केली गेलेली होती आणि त्यावर आमचे तायडे सर त्यांना दररोज त्या विषयाशी संबंधित प्रश्नावली त्यांना देत होते ते प्रश्नावली म्हणजे होमवर्क सुद्धा या वर्कशॉप मध्ये आपण पूर्ण करून घेतलेला आहे आणि विद्यार्थ्यांनी सुद्धा मी विद्यार्थ्याचं सुद्धा मनातून अभिनंदन करतो की त्यांनी अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं याला रिस्पॉन्स आपण दिलेला आहात आणि अगदी दररोजची तिन्ही रिसोर्स पर्सनची व्याख्यानं आपण चांगल्या पद्धतीनं ऐकलेली आहेत जो काही त्या वेळेसचा तुम्हाला दिलेले काही क्वेश्चन्स असतील तुम्हाला दिलेला फीडबॅक असेल तोही आपण अतिशय तात्काळ तत्परतेनं आपण सादर केलेला आहे आणि खऱ्या अर्थानं हा 10 दिवस ऑनलाईनच्या माध्यमामधून हा प्रोग्राम आयोजित करणं ही काही सोपी गोष्ट नव्हती आमचे प्रत्येक सेशनचे जे कोऑर्डिनेटर होते सुरुवातीच्या पहिल्या दिवसाचं जे कोऑर्डिनेटर आमचे या प्रोग्रामचे डायरेक्टर फुले सर होते नंतर आमचे तायडे सर होते राठोड सर होते कावळे मॅडम होत्या राऊत सर होते रेणुका लोंढे मॅडम होत्या विजय दळवी प्रीती पोहेकर अनुजा जाधव आणि मग आज शेवटचे आमचे मग फुले सर आणि लोंढे मॅडम की आपण फार अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं हा एक यशस्वी आपण हा प्रोग्राम राबवलेला आहे त्याचा निश्चितच आपल्या सगळ्यांचा मला फार अभिमान वाटतो की एवढ्या कमी वेळामध्ये आणि एक सिंगल रिसोर्स पर्सन सुद्धा अनुपस्थित राहिलेला नाही हे एक वेगळेपण या आपल्या प्रोग्रामचं आहे अगदी सांगितलेल्या वेळेत त्या वेळेनुसार हे सगळे प्रोग्राम विना अडथळा ऑनलाईन मध्ये जरी असले तरी विना अडथळा हे आपण सगळे प्रोग्राम आपण अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं आयोजित केलात आणि आता विद्यार्थ्यांचा जो काही फीडबॅक होता की सगळे रिसोर्स पर्सन हे यांनी अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं अगदी दर्जेदार असं मार्गदर्शन या विद्यार्थ्यांना केलेलं आहे त्याबद्दल मी या कार्यक्रमाचे डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर सुरेश फुले सर तायडे सर त्यांची सगळी टीम सगळे रिसर्च कमिटीचे आमचे सर्व सन्माननीय मेंबर या सगळ्यांचं मी परत खूप खूप अभिनंदन करतो आणि त्यांना धन्यवादही देतो की आपण हा अतिशय चांगला असा प्रोग्राम आपण आयोजित केला आहे सगळ्यात महत्वाचं ICSSR यांनी महाविद्यालयावर जो विश्वास ठेवलेला आहे खरं तर ICSSR आणि राजर्षी शाहू महाविद्यालय यांचं आता एक वेगळं नातं निर्माण झालेलं आहे त्यांनी महाविद्यालय ठेवलेला विश्वास कारण या वर्षीच आपल्याला दिल्लीच्या मेन ब्रँच कडून सुद्धा ICSSR कडून काही कॉन्फरन्स महाविद्यालयाला सँक्शन झालेल्या होत्या आणि त्यासोबत आता वेस्टर्न रिजनल ऑफिस कडून सेंटर कडून सुद्धा आपल्याला मराठी विषयासाठी आणि या रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी या 10 दिवसाच्या प्रोग्रामसाठी सुद्धा हे 2 प्रोग्राम त्यांनी सँक्शन केलेले म्हणून या वेस्टर्न रिजनल सेंटरच्या ICSSRच्या डायरेक्टर सीमा शुल्का मॅडम त्यांना सुद्धा मी खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो की त्यांनी महाविद्यालयावर ठेवलेला विश्वास आणि एकाच महाविद्यालयाला असे 2-2 प्रोग्राम देणं आणि खरं तर आपण ते अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं ते यशस्वीपणे आपण राबवलेले आणि मला विश्वास आहे की या माध्यमामधून जे काही इथं 30-32 विद्यार्थ्यांनी भाग घेतलेला आहे हे विद्यार्थी निश्चित जेव्हा आता रिसर्चला सुरुवात करतील तेव्हा या विद्यार्थ्यांचं रिसर्च हे इतर विद्यार्थ्यांच्या रिसर्च पेक्षा निश्चितच दर्जेदार राहील याविषयी माझ्या मनामध्ये काही शंका नाहीये आपण पाहतोय की सध्या रिसर्च म्हटलं की एक वेगळ्या नजरेनं आपण त्याच्याकडे पाहू लागलेलो आहोत की काय सोशल सायन्स मध्ये रिसर्च फार चांगलं होत नाही कॉपी पेस्ट केलं जातं एक विषय घेतला जातो त्यालाच अनुसरून थोडंसं बदलून दुसरा विषय घेतला जातो त्यावर रिसर्च होतं पण हा वर्कशॉप ज्या विद्यार्थ्यांनी अतिशय गंभीरपूर्वक केलेला आहे ती मुलं निश्चितच आपलं रिसर्च हे चांगलं करतील ते रिसर्च समाज उपयोगी असलं पाहिजे ते देशाच्या उपयोगी असलं पाहिजे एकीकडे आपण पाहतो की भारतासारखा खंडप्राय देश विशाल लोकसंख्या असलेला देश आणि रिसर्चच्या बाबतीमध्ये आपण जर पाहिलं तर ते फार आपण मागे असतो आणि म्हणून याचा निश्चितच आपल्याला फायदा होईल आणि आपलं रिसर्च हे निश्चितच एक दर्जेदार होईल असं मला प्रामाणिकपणे वाटतं समाज हा सातत्यानं विकसित होत असतो आणि या वेगवान समाजाच्या वाढीसह जी काही संशोधन पद्धती आहे, जी काही रिसर्च मेथॉडॉलॉजी आहे व त्याची संशोधकाची ही जास्त गरज आज खऱ्या अर्थानं समाजाला आणि पर्यायाने देशाला सुद्धा आहे. विद्यार्थी, संशोधक विद्यार्थी हा जिज्ञासू प्रवृत्तीचा असला पाहिजे, कारण जिज्ञासू प्रवृत्ती असेल तर विद्यार्थी नवीन नवीन ज्ञान प्राप्त करत असतो. असं म्हणतात की सर्व ज्ञानाची जननी ही जिज्ञासू प्रवृत्ती असते आणि विद्यार्थ्यांनी हे जिज्ञासू वृत्तीनं हे काम करणं फार गरजेचं असतं. विद्यार्थ्यांना असं वाटलं पाहिजे. आपण नेहमी उदाहरण सांगतो की पृथ्वीमध्ये गुरुत्वाकर्षण शक्ती आहे हा शोध कसा लावला? फळ पडलं, सफरचंद खाली पडलं आणि मग तो संशोधक विद्यार्थी विचार करून आला की ते खालीच का पडलं, आणि मग तिथं एक संशोधन निर्माण झालं की या पृथ्वीमध्ये एक गुरुत्वाकर्षण शक्ती आहे. म्हणजे जिथं जिज्ञासू वृत्ती येते तिथं खरं रिसर्च सुरू होतं. म्हणून संशोधकांनी हे कसं बनलं पाहिजे, ज्ञानासाठी ज्ञान गोळा करणं. आपण ज्ञानी आहात, पण त्या ज्ञानासाठी आणखीन ज्ञान गोळा करणं याला आपण खऱ्या अर्थानं एक संशोधन म्हणत असतो. आणि म्हणून आपण संशोधकाने, मी तर नेहमी जेव्हा मी रिसर्च मेथॉडॉलॉजीचा काही भाग आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांना शिकवायचं तेव्हा मी नेहमी म्हणायचो की संशोधक हा संशय वृत्तीचा असणं फार गरजेचं असतं. संशोधकाने संशय घेतला पाहिजे, त्याची वृत्ती संशयी असली पाहिजे. आणि जिथं संशयी वृत्ती असते तिथं मला वाटतं की खऱ्या अर्थानं एक चौकशी सुरू होते, आणि जिथं चौकशी सुरू होते त्या चौकशीमधून एक नाविन्यपूर्ण काहीतरी निर्माण होत असतं. आणि म्हणून संशोधकांनी संशय वृत्ती बाळगणं फार गरजेचं असतं. म्हणून संशोधक कसा असावा, तो काक दृष्टीचा असला पाहिजे असंही आपण म्हणतो, कारण सगळीकडे त्याची नजर असली पाहिजे, संशयी भावना असली पाहिजे. आणि मग असं जर असेल तर मला वाटतं खऱ्या अर्थानं एक चांगलं रिसर्च तिथं निर्माण होऊ शकतं. आणि म्हणून हडसन नावाचा एक विचारवंत सुद्धा म्हणतो की अति आत्मविश्वासापेक्षा संशय हा अधिक बरा असतो, कारण त्यामुळे चौकशी होते आणि चौकशीमुळे एक नाविन्य येत असतं. आणि म्हणून संशोधकांनी संशय प्रवृत्तीनं राहणं, पण ते फक्त रिसर्चशी संबंधित संशय वृत्तीनं आपण राहावं, नाहीतर मग आपण संशय वृत्तीनं दुसरीकडेच आपण जर गेला मग ते चुकीचं होईल. पण आपण जे रिसर्च करतो, तुम्हाला कुठलाही विषय हा घेत असताना, निवडत असताना तो तुमच्या हृदयातून आला पाहिजे. मला वाटलं पाहिजे की या विषयावर अभ्यास मी केला पाहिजे, इथं असं होतंय, मग ते का होतं, तर ते तुमचा जो काही रिसर्चचा विषय आहे हा तुमच्या हृदयातून आला पाहिजे, तरच खऱ्या अर्थानं चांगलं रिसर्च तिथं होऊ शकतं. सोशल सायन्स मधलं रिसर्च समाजाला आणि जगाला, देशाला एक मार्गदर्शन करत असतं. आणि म्हणून आपण यामध्ये रिसर्च करत असताना सोशल सायन्स मधलं जरी रिसर्च असलं तरी ते जगाला दिशादर्शक असतं. त्या पद्धतीचं रिसर्च आपलं व्हावं. आपण स्वतः एक विचार करावा की मी 2 वर्ष 3 वर्ष जे काही असेल हे मेहनत घेऊन रिसर्च केल्यानंतर माझ्या या रिसर्चचा माझ्यासाठी, समाजासाठी आणि देशासाठी काय उपयोग आहे, हा प्रश्न सातत्यानं आपण आपल्या डोक्यामध्ये आपल्या ठेवला पाहिजे. तर आपलं रिसर्च मला वाटतं खऱ्या अर्थानं एक चांगलं रिसर्च आपलं होऊ शकतं. आणि याच्यासाठी 10 दिवस इथं ज्या आमच्या सगळ्या रिसोर्स पर्सननी आपल्याला जे मार्गदर्शन केले त्याच्यावर आपण छान एखादी नोट आपण तयार करावी. प्रत्येक रिसोर्स पर्सननी काय काय म्हटलेलं होतं, कशावर त्यांनी फोकस केलेला होता, त्याच्यावर आपण आपली काय मतं आहेत हेही आपण त्याच्यावर लिहावी, जेणेकरून तुम्हाला ती भविष्यात तुम्ही रिसर्च करत असताना ती उपयुक्त होतील. आपण या ज्ञानाचा आपण फायदा घेतला, निश्चित आपण रिसर्च करताना त्याचा आपल्याला फायदा होणार आहे. मी परत सगळ्या विद्यार्थ्यांचंही मी अभिनंदन करतो. त्यांनी अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं 10 दिवस हा कार्यक्रम त्यांनी एन्जॉय केलेला आहे आणि त्यांच्या ज्ञानामध्ये निश्चित भर पडलेली आहे. आणि निश्चितच त्यांचं रिसर्च जे काही होईल त्याचं एक स्टँडर्ड निश्चितच वाढलेलं असेल असं मला वाटतं. मी परत इथं आलेले सगळे आमचे रिसोर्स पर्सन जे होते त्या सगळ्या रिसोर्स पर्सनला सुद्धा मी खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो की त्यांनी आमच्यासाठी त्यांचा अमूल्य असा वेळ त्यांनी आम्हाला महाविद्यालयासाठी दिला, आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांना मार्गदर्शन केलं आणि निश्चितच त्याचा फायदा हा विद्यार्थ्यांना होणार आहे. मी परत ICSSR चे आमचे डायरेक्टर स्मिता शुक्ला मॅडम त्यांनाही मी खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो की त्यांनी आम्हाला या ऑनलाईन या 10 डेज रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी प्रोग्रामसाठी 80,000 रुपयाचा फंड सुद्धा त्यांनी आम्हाला मंजूर केलेला आहे. त्याबद्दल मी त्यांनाही मी खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो. आणि आमची सगळी रिसर्च कमिटी त्यांनीही हा कार्यक्रम फार छान ऑर्गनाईज केलेला आहे. त्यांनाही मी त्यांच्या पाठीमागचं त्यांचं श्रम, त्यांची तळमळ, या सगळ्या गोष्टी मी पाहिलेल्या आहेत. त्याबद्दल मी त्या सगळ्यांना मी खूप खूप धन्यवाद देतो, त्यांचं अभिनंदन करतो. आणि आजचा हा जो कार्यक्रम आहे त्याचा अध्यक्षीय समारोप एक थोडक्यामध्ये मी या ठिकाणी थांबवतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद sir. Thank you for your inspiring words. Your words gives us energy to arrange such programs. Now moving towards, we are at the last part of the research methodology program, that is the Oat of Thanks. On behalf of our college and RAC committee, we would like to extend our thanks to all resource persons for accepting our invitation and sparing their valuable time for the benefit of the participants. The organization of this program on research methodology is possible because of the financial support from WRC of ICSSR. On behalf of the organizing committee, we take this opportunity to thank them. We also express our sincere thanks to all the participants for their participation. The organization of this program is possible because of constant encouragement from our principal, Dr. Mahadev Ghawane sir, and Vice Principal, Professor Eshan Sinde sir. On behalf of the RAC committee, I take this opportunity to thank them. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Phule sir and Dr. Yadav sir for organizing such a wonderful program. I must thank to Dr. Kundan Taide sir, Dr. Naneshwar Rathod sir, Dr. Pushpalata Trimukhe madam, Dr. Kaka Saheb Raut sir, Dr. Vijay Dalvi, Dr. Priti Pohekar madam, Dr. Anuja Jadhav madam for smooth conduction of the sessions and to make this program successful. Sincere thanks to Mr. V.D. Panchal, Mr. Manoj Birazdar, Mr. Bhairav Gorde and Mr. Praveen for their technical support. Last but not least, I am thankful to all the staff who directly and indirectly contributed to the success of this program. Thank you very much. With the permission of chair.
मॅडम एक मिनिट
Yes, sir.
सगळ्यांचा व्हिडिओ ऑन करायला हवा आणि एक
Yes, yes. I request all the participants, please on your videos.
स्क्रीनशॉट कोण घेते? तायडे सर.
हा सर घेतो.
हा सर मी पण घेते.
हा.
Bharat Sinde sir.
Yes, Pallavi Guzar madam. Okay, thank you.
सगळे ऑन करा म्हणा, सगळे ऑन करा.
Shantaram, Dayanand and Pallavi, please on your camera. Okay.
Pallavi. Okay.
इथं RSML ला कोण आहे?
हा सर. हॅलो सर.
टेक्निकल कमिटी का?
हो सर, हो टेक्निकल कमिटी सर.
ठीक आहे.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
शिंदे सर तुमचा व्हिडिओ, तुम्ही कुठे?
Shubhangi ma'am. Pallavi Guzar. Okay, thank you.
चला, थँक्यू.
Thank you.
गायकवाड सर, थँक्यू. चला, once again congratulations all research committee, secretary, member, IQC coordinator.
Thank you sir. Thank you. छान झाला कार्यक्रम.
थँक्यू. छान झाला. सगळ्यांचं परत अभिनंदन. Okay, thank you. Can I leave?
Yes sir, yes. Please proceed. Okay, Panchal sir, recording stop करा.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, all the participants. Soon you will get the certificates in the form of e-copy. All of you can leave the meeting. Phule sir, please end the meeting.
हा सर एंड करायची का